The WHAS11 night team. Folks, it's been a wild and frightening night for so many across our area. Videos recorded across southern Indiana tonight showing a tornado dropping out of the sky 20 minutes north of downtown Louisville just before 9:30. It crossed I-65. 911 calls coming in reporting the damage, and this is in Clark County near Perry Crossing Road in Sellersburg. These videos and photos sent to us from viewers near that area, also in Memphis, Indiana, and Sellersburg, showing what appears to be the small tornado on the ground. We are going to be hearing from eyewitnesses tonight as we bring you coverage here on the night team. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. We're also on the scene of the damaged areas. A live report from our Reed Yaden coming right up. But first, we do need to give you the very latest about the overnight hours. It's a dangerous time for storms. So are we in the clear? Meteorologist Colleen Peterson has a brand new update. Where are those storms right now, Colleen?
We are tracking some more thunderstorms. The threat is not over. In fact, that tornado watch remains in place until 3 o'clock in the morning. So overnight, do not let your guards down. In fact, I am watching a tornado warning off to the west, and that's going to continue to head off to the east. So if it continues to hold that strength, we could yet again have another tornado warning over our area near Bedford and then crossing over to Seymour. But we're going to continue to have some pop-up thunderstorms here over the next few hours that could have that potential to become strong. Thankfully, right now, there is no current warning in place. The only thing that we have is that tornado watch until 3 o'clock. Along I-65 south of Seymour, we are seeing some rain. Other than that, here we have a little bit of a dry spell, but again, more thunderstorms can continue to start firing up. So tornado watch in place until 3 o'clock in the morning. This does include all of Kentucky, all of Indiana. We have one confirmed tornado that struck around 9:20 p.m. earlier this evening. It did appear to be on that weaker side. However, some tornadoes could continue to develop here over the next few hours until 3 o'clock in the morning. So what I want you to do is before you go to bed tonight, have multiple ways to receive warnings. I'm walking you through that forecast because tonight is not the only threat. We have more threats of strong to severe storms as we head towards Wednesday evening and night. I'm going to break down all those impacts and show you that radar again coming up. Doug?
Okay, good point. That's right. We have another day of this tomorrow. Now, that line of storms created the one confirmed tornado, as Colleen said, in Clark County, Indiana, near Perry Crossing. Our Reed Yaden and photojournalist John Humphreys got there quickly. They're joining us live from a neighborhood where some homes are damaged. Reed, what are you seeing? Can you show us some of the damage?
Indeed, we can. Behind me, you see people working on a roof. Normally they'd be in bed at this time, but a tornado took care of that. It was a tornado that came through in the dark here at Perry, just off Perry Crossing in Lewis and Clark subdivision. This is Eric Thorne. You live here. What were you doing at the time?
Well, we were watching the alerts come on. I actually was watching Colleen on the time, and they issued those warnings, and she's saying, if you're by Perry Crossing, you need to take your shelter. Okay. So my wife and I, they go in the bathroom, and I'm looking out the window watching it.
And here's what you saw when you looked out the window. You saw the tornado as it came across.
You could
have some very dramatic video here.
Yeah, you could see the black cloud coming down out of the sky, and it was weird. There's no rain at all yet, but the winds just picked up all of a sudden, and stuff was being tossed around. You could see the debris flying, and my wife's like, oh my gosh, you can hear the debris flying around everywhere. So it was really scary, very brief, but next thing you know, it just popped and bounced over the houses right here.
And it came out of the knobs,
right,
across here, and then across Interstate 65.
Right, we're always familiar with coming from the knobs. Anytime they come through there, we know we're right in the direct path of it, because it always goes this direction, kind of remnants of the old Henryville days.
You've done this before?
Yep, when Henryville did the same thing, it was so close to here and went right in our backyard again.
Okay, thankfully, again, here in Perry Crossing, in this neighborhood, the Lewis and Clark subdivision, no one injured from that tornado as it came across. No rain at the time when it came across. It was a dry tornado. It hopscotched. The National Weather Service will be on the scene here tomorrow conducting a damage survey, and they'll make a determination as to the strength and full path of the tornado. I should tell you there was some debris reported on Interstate 65 near Perry Crossing. We came across there. The interstate is operating normally. The house behind me and another house, major roof damage. Doug, I'll be back in just a few minutes. We'll have more on the damage here at the Lewis and Clark subdivision. Back to you.
Thank you for that great interview. Now, our coverage continuing with another viewer and another view of the tornado that caused the damage to the Perry Crossing road area in Sellersburg. again 20 minutes north of Louisville. This was the first confirmed tornado tonight. Dozens of people calling 911, including the man who recorded this video. His name's Cody Monk. He and his family are safe, luckily with no damage. I talked to Cody just a little while ago.
It was moving really, really quick. And all of a sudden, about 10 seconds later, it really starts to form just like that. And just within 10 seconds, it started forming really, really quick. And you could see the spin, and I could tell it was 100% heading away from me. So I knew at that point I was, relatively safe, because you could clearly see that it was heading away. But it only takes just a few seconds for that thing to form.
Now look here, here's another clear photo of the same tornado that moved down Perry Crossing. This given to WHAS11 News by Colin Bell tonight. Stay with us. Again, we're going to go right back to Reed for another live update in about 5 minutes. Also, with the chance for storms overnight, make sure your weather radios have fresh batteries and download the free WHAS11 app. You can watch us even if you have a power outage. We'll also send you severe weather alerts right to your phone. Again, you'll still be able to get live coverage from the First Alert Storm Team here overnight. Now, more local news for you tonight. Before we get back to our storm coverage, also happening tonight, the big vote. It's now official. JCPS is making a big change for next school year. The board approving that plan that will change the start times for many local schools. There are 3 start times, 7:30 a.m., 8:40 a.m., and 9:40 a.m. Under this plan, more than 80 schools will see their start times change, but there is a caveat in all this. The board wants a new plan presented by December. WHAS 1119's Taylor Woods and our photojournalist Elijah McKenzie covered the meeting. Taylor, you have more on the plan.
Absolutely, Doug. Tonight, the board agreed to go with scenario 1 for this school year. Then they plan to meet in December to discuss a different start time for the 2025 to 2026 school year. But ultimately, many elementary principals aren't too pleased that their schools now have to start later.
The massive reduction or complete loss of our community partners?
Several principals and administrators packed the Van Hoos Education Center as the JCPS school board voted for new school start times next year. Many of them took the podium, some in opposition to start at a later time of 9:40 a.m.
We as elementary principals do not take this moment lightly.
The last time slot is not ideal for anyone, but when thinking of our students and what is needed outside of the school day, we need to consider this as well.
Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio says the change is necessary to help bus drivers. Right now, he says the district has about 540 bus drivers with 575 bus routes. The board had 2 scenarios to vote from, all with start times of 7:30 a.m., 8:40 a.m., and 9:40 a.m. Scenario 1 would change start times for more than 80 schools, while Scenario 2 would impact about 100 schools.
No easy answers, but once again, I will say what Chief Moore said. My challenge to operations was to get our kids to school on time.
At first, board members couldn't come to an agreement with neither scenario getting the votes to pass.
If it takes us as a board saying, look, we consent to this year to alleviate with, option 1 and cause as least amount of wrong as possible, and then set a date.
That's when the board agreed to a compromise, approving Scenario 1 but requiring the district to present a plan by December for the 25-26 school year.
I would move that the board adopt option 1 for the start of the 24-25 school year, with the additional caveat that the administration return to us by no later than December the 1st.
4 members voted for that plan. After the vote, Hazelwood Elementary Principal Courtney Grace said she was disappointed in the decision.
It's not what we stood for today as elementary school principals when we really looked at the research and we really came together as a collective group.
Grace is concerned about before and after school programs for next school year because many families have already been waitlisted.
We service the community and we will do what's best for kids because we need them in our building on time every day.
And the district will take these next weeks over summer break to work on routes to align with the new start time schedules. In studio, Taylor Woods, WHAS 1119 on your side.
Taylor, thank you. And this just in, we have a new tornado warning to the far northern part of the WHAS 11 viewing area. Colleen, you are tracking where this has developed.
Yeah, so this is only for Lawrence County and only a portion of it. In fact, Bedford, you are not in the path of this potential tornado. But if you live in Guthrie, I think that's the only area that we are focusing on. This tornado warning is in effect until 11:45 p.m. Again, this is a new tornado warning showing some areas of rotation, not just yet in our area, but it does include northwestern Lawrence County. This is very far from Louisville. We are seeing those storms moving just off to the north and northeast. So right now we are focusing on this area in particular. I do want to talk about where we are seeing this potential rotation real quick. And there it is right there popping up just about to enter Lawrence County. So I do want to put a track on it to see exactly where, and if I can go ahead and leave it on this one. Moving off to the east, these are slow moving storms. Springfield Elementary School, if that is familiar to you, and then Guthrie by 11:32 p.m. a potential tornado is heading your way. So this is in effect for Lawrence County until 11:45 p.m. There is that county line, and then once it crosses, it's going to head in towards Springfield Elementary School and then southeastern Lawrence County. I'm going to continue to keep my eyes on this and have further updates in just about a few minutes. Doug?
Thank you, Colleen. A lot more weather coverage coming up. Also tonight, we're following the other big vote for Indiana this evening. It was primary election night in Indiana. Indiana voters headed to the polls on the ballot, top positions like Indiana governor and a U.S. Senate seat. In the race for governor, 6 Republicans were running to replace the term-limited Governor Eric Holcomb. He can no longer run. Senator Mike Braun won the primary, defeating opponents, including Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch.
I intend to be the most entrepreneurial governor our state has ever had. I can guarantee you I'm going to be the most accessible governor the state has ever had.
Now to the race for November. Braun will face Democrat Jennifer McCormick, who ran unopposed. Braun, running for governor, opened up his U.S. Senate seat, by the way. Democrat Valerie McRae won her party's nomination. She will face the Republican Jim Banks, who ran unopposed. In the race for U.S. House in Indiana, Republican Erin Houchin defended her District 9 seat against Hugh Doty. That district includes most of our southern Indiana counties. Houchin will now face Timothy Peck, who won the Democratic nomination. The general election is coming up November 5th. Right now, new on the WHAS11 night team, Louisville Metro Police are looking for a suspect involved in a shooting and then a police chase. LMPD spokesperson telling us it happened about 3 this afternoon. Officers responded to Saddlebrick Lane off Rockford Lane, where they found one man shot several times, another shot in the leg. One of those men had his car stolen. A few minutes later, a police officer spotted that stolen car near Rockford and Cane Run Road, and a chase began. It ended when the car wrecked on Catalpa Street in the Portland neighborhood. Officers were able to detain one suspect, but police say they believe there was at least one more that got away. Both victims in the shooting are expected to survive. If you have information that can help the detectives investigating this case, the anonymous tip line is 574 LMPD. And now happening tonight, neighbors in the Portland neighborhood were meeting tonight to discuss the programs implemented by Louisville Metro Police in Portland to help keep crime down. WHAS11 night team's Alex Dieterer talked with a resident who said he's seeing violent crime down in his backyard and hopes to see the trend in Portland continue.
One of Louisville's original neighborhoods, Portland has seen a lot of change over the years.
Up and down. It's on a big upswing right now. It's really doing good.
For Richard Meadows, who has lived on and off in Portland for 40 years and now helps lead Portland Now monthly meetings, the recent change has been for the better.
The crime in this neighborhood has gone down substantially.
According to Louisville Gun Violence Dashboard, this time last year there was 1 confirmed fatal shooting in Portland. So far this year there have been 4. In the first division overall, however, homicides are down 25% from this time last year. Auto theft is down 23% and vandalism is down 11% according to LMPD.
We still have crime, don't get me wrong. Every neighborhood does. The car break-ins, those kind of things, vandalism.
Major Michael Abernathy, the Division Resource Officer for Portland, said LMPD has started a pilot program to address the abandoned homes in the neighborhood. From 18th and 26th Streets and from Market Street to the river, officers have been clearboarding abandoned houses.
We've had a run of some fires at abandoned houses and break-ins, and it just helps to keep the community safer, but it also helps us get inside some of these buildings and see what the structure looks like.
There have been no reported incidents of arson in the 1st Division so far this year. Major Abernathy says if people are squatting inside these homes, resources are available to them.
We aren't here to just throw them in jail or try to arrest our way out of the problem.
LMPD's effort is what Meadows is citing as the reason for the decrease in crime he's seen.
I can lay it at the feet of the division commander, Major Shannon Lauder. She looks at the numbers. She puts her police where they need to be to knock the crime down.
And is ready to see Portland continue to trend in a positive direction. In Portland, Alex Dieterer, the WHAS11 Night Team on your side.